Johnny, we have a question to start off this podcast.
God, what? No, good morning. No, how you doing? How's your morning?
No, straight into a question.
All right, fantastic. What's your question?
What are the 3 ways to skin a cat?
Oh, God. I did read the article and I didn't read all 3 ways, to be honest. So have you got it here?
No, we actually don't. No,
Sorry,
actually,
Rex.
I think Lee brings all of his articles everywhere with him.
Just in a big suitcase.
We brought an extra suitcase
If you
full of
wanna
Lee's
know.
magazine features.
Fantastic. Yeah, let's just do that off camera, I think.
Yeah.
I'll read. I'll get back to you.
But no, thanks for joining us this morning, Johnny.
No,
we're in,
thank you.
We're in Adelaide, South Australia at the moment. Last night we did our Reconnect show where Johnny was one of the guests. And we were always keen to get you on the podcast. I know you were one of our first listeners, which is great. You were one of the first people to give us some feedback, which is fantastic.
It was good feedback, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't bad?
No, it wasn't bad, which is great. I think...
It's not that time. It wasn't bad that time.
Let me think. Well, we haven't got cancelled yet. Like, what episode is this?
This will be 19.
19.
Yeah, 19.
We haven't got cancelled yet, so
You've done well.
today could be the day.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, we always like to start the podcast just if you want to give yourself a bit of an introduction. We don't like to put labels on anyone, so we'll let you give yourself a bit of an introduction, and we'll get into a little bit about you, your story.
All right. An intro. My name's Johnny. I'm a barber and a hairdresser. I've done both for 33 years now. Also a photographer as well, and part-time uni student, and just exhausted all round.
I'm just knackered.
Just knackered, yeah.
Love it. Same. Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers.
If you had a cup, that would be great. No, it's mad. What are you studying?
I'm doing a Bachelor of Digital Media.
Awesome.
Which is,
Cool.
yeah, it's really insidious because when you look at the course outline, it's basically the psychology of the internet and then how to create platforms that get people addicted to the internet, which is really bad.
Which is terrible. I'm doing it anyway.
It's funny, I was actually listening to a podcast recently, and it's like there is people in high up organizations in digital media who are really like ashamed of what they've done, like and created in the world.
It's like
what
the
podcast was that?
there's the social media
The social
documentary.
network.
Yeah, is it the social dilemma?
Yeah.
And the guys from like Google and YouTube, they're just like, what have we done?
It was
Yeah.
There was that woman, and she's like, had I known what it would have caused now, I wouldn't have done it. And I'm like, what's she talking about? She was talking about the like button on Facebook.
Oh.
And she invented the like button, and then the guilt that she felt afterwards is kind of like, I wouldn't have done it if I'd known that this is what it had created in terms of, things like depression, anxiety, all these sort of disorders that kids are kind of now going through because of social media and that one little button.
Isn't it mental?
Yeah.
That little dopamine hit you get out of just dink,
And that's basically what my studies are about. It's looking at the psychology of that and then how to create, platforms that keep people engaged and that sort of thing. So I guess you can either use the degree for good or evil, essentially.
I think there's a good way of doing it, though. I think if we do it right, it'll be fine.
Oh, totally.
I think
But
attention's the thing that we are trading on right now, and I think if we do it in the right way, it'll be okay.
Yeah. Look. Anything has, I think, the ability to be misused, and the internet is definitely the same. And if you do create platforms like you guys are doing that, are there obviously for the common good, the betterment of our industry, for example, then to me that's fantastic. And there are ways that you can do your platform, make your content, all of that hits your target in the right way. So that's kind of, say, using what I'm studying for good and not evil, but then you've got the Zuckerbergs that kind of use it for evil.
No, absolutely. And I would trust that you were doing that for the right reasons as well, just from like our conversations over time.
Yeah, totally.
And like something we always speak about as well, and we've probably spoken about it on this podcast, is the fact that like everyone does have a platform, even if you're only getting like 20 likes. Sometimes we still only get like 20 likes on stuff, and it's just like, well, but them 20 people, like, you're still influencing like potentially 20 people's lives, like even if it's a small number. But every single person in the world has a platform, and how we choose to share what we share on that platform is important. Like,
look, totally. I totally agree. I had a really weird moment last night at the show as I started cutting hair, and this young kid came up to me. He's like, "Hi, Johnny," and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, my name's Spencer," and I'm like, "Oh, how are you?" And He goes, yeah, somebody at work showed me your post on Facebook that you were doing this, and that's why I'm here tonight. I'm like, oh, cool. Then we started talking, and he goes, oh, you won the Mitsutani competition. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, and you were a finalist for this, and you were a finalist for that, and you won Amber last year. And I'm like, how do you know all of this? And he's like, oh, I've been following your career. And I'm like, to me, that's like, it's super crazy. And then he goes, I knew who you were when I was in Taiwan. And I'm just like, that's just nuts. Like, someone like me, who I'm not hugely in the industry, but he's this little kid that's come from Taiwan, and he knew who I was before he'd even come to Australia. And I just thought, you know what, that's mental.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I almost like there was times last night where like, we kind of were in similar situations. I don't know how to respond to that sometimes. I just kind of make jokes of it, like.
Yeah, but you're you though. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. You're you. Like it's not, well, not big noting or blowing smoke up your butt, but the reality is you're Owen and everybody knows who you are. So yeah, I don't know why you're surprised at that.
No, but it's still weird. Like I still find it like strange too, because like for me, I don't ever look at it as like there's like a hierarchy, or like, we're confident in what we do, but like I don't look at it as a opportunity for me to then take that and use it in the wrong way
not at all.
But like, yeah, it's just weird. I just find it weird. Like last night, it was continuing on until like early hours, and it's just like I just don't know what to say anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm very humbled by it, and I think it's great. But it's so crazy that is the case, because like even when I went back to Ireland, it's funny, so my mom's family, like, they won't be listening to this, so it'll be fine. But they're farmers, so like my uncle's a farmer, and he would never really understand that, like, you could do what, say, we've even done with hair, like the opportunities that we've had. And I went back to Ireland, and it was my first night back there, and I went out in my hometown, and it's just really random story. I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but this kid like just ran over and wanted like to take a photo with me, because he was doing hair, like doing barbering, because like maybe 3-4 people started cutting hair since I left Fermoy. And like my uncle was just like this farmer who just spends most of his time by himself, and he's just like, what is this, like, what's going on here? But like this guy had followed, like, say, my career since I came to Australia. I didn't really have a career before that, but he followed my career since I came to Australia. And it's just mad, like, people can follow it anywhere in the world, and it's a click of a button. Like, we've got Hilmy, who listens to all of our stuff.
Yeah.
We got like this, like, he's basically like our biggest fan.
He's a mega fan.
Yeah,
he's a mega fan.
Yeah. So shout out to Hilmy. Yeah. He's always giving us love. So
yeah.
But it's just mad, isn't it? It can bring you anywhere. Like, so many opportunities.
I think we have probably one of the weirdest jobs in the world. In what we do, and I know you've spoken about this before. It's a really weird thing, cutting hair, and I tell all of my kids that I'm like, this is the weirdest thing you will ever do in your life. Just picking up hair and then cutting it and knowing that it's attached to somebody and you're gonna be touching them for the next half hour. It is weird enough, right? And then I think with the advent of social media, because I'm old enough to have been around when it wasn't around, start putting stuff on Facebook. I'm in LA doing work and at Sassoon, and my mates are like, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, I'm doing a hair show. And they're like, you got flown to LA to do hair? I'm like, well, yeah. And that's how weird our job is. It's kind of like, we just get to do crazy shit, and it's fun, and it's weird, and it's fantastic. And people are constantly surprised at, I guess, where our careers take us and what we get to do. And to me, it's all about the fun aspect of it.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we lose a bit of that, though, don't we? I think it gets lost, the fun. Because something that I struggle with is like keeping that element of this is weird, like, because it is like it's an add-on to life, isn't it? Like, it's not essential to survive.
No.
But we normalize it so much, and people believe that it's just a staple of surviving is getting your hair cut, and to me it just loses all its fun. I'm like, we're getting too serious about it now,
It's
guys.
basically
Come
ice.
on.
It's like ice sculptures.
Yeah.
It's gonna melt again, like.
Yeah, exactly. It will.
It's kind of like that. That's like, it's unnecessary, but like we do it anyway.
But that's a sign of how awesome it is to be here, and like the privileges and where we've got to as humans. It's like an expression of how great. I heard this on Stephen's podcast. Is what we do is like an expression of how great it is to be here. And that's exactly what hair is.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
it's the most ridiculous shit in the world, but that's how great it is. Like, as humans, we've got to this point, and we're so privileged to do this.
Yeah. But you guys have taken control of it, though. Like, I've listened to your podcast, and I've heard you say things in the past, especially about, you know, reducing the number of days and the number of clients that you do. And that's a conscious choice to take control of, I guess, the fun aspect of what you do on a daily basis. You know, I don't do a lot of clients now, and that was my choice. I've narrowed down my clients to a really, really small group of they're the people that I like doing. And if I like doing them, then chances are I like the hair that I'm doing on them. And that's it. They've got to be fun for me. I think if a client walks through the door and it's not a person that I go, I can't wait to see you when you're about to walk through that door, then I don't want to do them, you know. And I have that luxury, which is fantastic. So, you know, it's retaining that fun element of my career. And it's a nice balance for me, which is...
I would say you've created that luxury instead of just having it, you know?
Totally.
And I think that's a really interesting place to look at it from, because I feel like now I've created that luxury for myself as well. So like now I only do like 10 clients a week, but I'm even getting sick of some of them, you know. But like I might have to probably I'll probably have to narrow it down a little bit more, you know. But like it's just a learning process every time you do it. Like, you know, it's been a constant like filter to get to the point where I want to like create my ideal working situation. But even when you do think, when you take the next step, there's always another step, you know. It's funny because you think, oh, when I get here, I'll be happy then. But then you get there and you're like, oh, fuck, how much freedom have I really created for myself here?
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as I started putting people on recurring bookings, and then I realised, oh, fuck, I'm actually stuck in this. And I was like, I'm not really creating too much freedom here, because these people expect me to be here every week at 1 o'clock on a Thursday. It's like, oh my God.
Well, you can actually become a slave to your own freedom, and that it's a weird concept to get your head around, but it's true. It does happen, and again, I've seen you guys sort of talk a lot about, you know, how you've actually changed your careers and what you do in the industry, and I think getting yourself to that point where you're choosing who you want to do, when you want to do them, and how you want to do them is, I think, unfortunately, what we do in the industry is we teach the youngins and the little kids that, you know, you only get these privileges when you get to a certain point, you know, and to me, I think that's wrong. I think that's the first thing they should learn is how to actually create the career they want, rather than to be the chair filler that you've talked about, you know, are you filling a position in a shop kind of thing. We don't want kids to have that mentality of, okay, I have to be this here, and then after 2 years I have to be here, and then after 3 I have to be here. It's like, right, what do I want to be? And I can start working on that now and be that now, rather than go, okay, well, I've got to go through all of this first to get to that point, you know?
That's very limiting, isn't it? It's very limiting.
And it's our fault as
it's
the older
fundamentally-
generation.
I say that, I say it all the time. It's us that's done it. The industry's done it to itself. We've led people this way, but we're the only ones that can get ourselves out of it as well. We put ourselves in there. We can get ourselves out of it. But that's one of the cool things about our industry, isn't it? You know, it's a creative expression, and I think you should be able to do that with your whole life as well. You know?
Yeah. Oh, look, totally.
Express how you want to be through your work and how you want to build it and creatively think about it. Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think having the ability to think critically about anything is like essential, you know, having curiosity to like think about something in a different way. And I think like that's probably the reason why I kind of got into education, was to like be like, well, look guys, I didn't go to barber school, and look what I can do, you know? It's kind of like that. And like, shout out to Bifdu, who's over here behind the camera. He's going to be our next guest on the podcast. But like, Bifdu joining our team, coming straight out of, like, he hadn't finished his certificate yet when he joined. And I've been saying it to him since he joined the team. I was like, you're going to be like the first person who leaves Biba Academy, and within like the first couple of months, like, you will be put on like an education style platform. Like, nobody will have done that before. It's like, why can it not be done, you know?
No, it
there doesn't have to be like the 2-year blocks, like you said. Because that can actually limit you from like, just in, not even hair, but anything in life. Anyone who's watching this who might not even be doing hair, if you put them types of restrictions on yourself, you're actually holding yourself back.
100%.
You're putting a cap on. You're not allowing yourself to go left or right. Like, you're just going straight up and down. Like, there's no like room for creativity or...
No. And I guess when you look at career and longevity, like how many years are you in?
I've been doing hair for about coming up to 7 years now.
7. Okay, and you're, what did you say last time? 17. Yeah. So
in
I didn't.
September, yeah, so a little while to go. But yeah, close.
I started educating probably halfway through my hairdressing. That's when I stopped actually like doing floor clients every single day, and I got into full-time education. And so, I've done it for 16 years, and I guess we always look at our own timeline of progression. And I'm kind of like on a Friday afternoon when you look at your clippers and they start flashing and you go, I've only got like one fade or half a short back and sides left.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with my career.
I've only got a few classes left.
It is. It's quite sad. I'm the flashing clipper on the station kind of thing, and you kind of think, okay, well, I did that, I got there, and again, it's that limiting belief in your pathway that I've done all of this, and that's how I've progressed, and it's kind of like, right, what's next now?
Well, that's really interesting. Something that it was a little conversation we were having last night. Late last night, one of the guys was talking about Biftu doing the show last night, and they were like, "Oh, he really deserves it," and I'm like, "He does deserve it." And then I said, but anyone who's got the balls to get up there and do it actually deserves it because it's rare. What we see, it's actually quite rare.
Yeah.
Like for us to jump up there like that, not many people have actually got the balls to do it.
No,
so
it's hard.
that's why I think we encourage it so much. It's like because you got the balls to do it, you're deserving of it, and you could probably have a good crack at it.
Yeah, totally.
There's a lot of growth in it, like in terms of like think about like all of the the praise and like people coming to Biftu and giving them that like praise last night, like that can do a lot for somebody, for their self-worth and confidence.
Of course it can, yeah.
And it can propel you in a completely different direction in your life, or your career.
Yeah.
It takes you away from just that mundane, like feeling like a slave doing haircuts behind a chair, like kind of lifestyle.
The thing I love about getting back to the shop as well is like shop life is so much easier. You do a show like that, and if the nerves are going through you, you're like, I remember when you used to do competitions and shows and stuff, and then get back to the shop, you're like, oh, this is easy.
A back-to-back day of clients.
Yeah.
Look at it, that's my relief.
It's boring, but it's like there's no pressure anymore.
You develop a good autopilot, you can get to it. Like.
But do you want to do that though? Like
No.
when you look at your career, I don't want to be autopilot.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like that. You kind of think, okay, I can do this with my eyes closed. Ergo, where is my challenge? Where is my joy? And how do I bring my passion into autopilot?
It's so beautiful.
We
talk about that all the time. Like, I've witnessed myself doing it. When I'm in autopilot mode, I'm not really that present either.
No, you're not.
I want to be so present in my life. I don't want to miss a minute.
No, you can't.
But when I'm in autopilot, I've got 15 clients for the day. I'm like, all right.
Autopilot is
part of that day's just gone.
Like autopilot is designed to save you energy, but it actually ends up in the long term draining you.
Costing you energy, yeah.
It does.
It actually takes the energy away from you, like in terms of new opportunities. It keeps you in the same place.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like exploring and discovering new pathways or like different ways of living, it's completely like detrimental actually. Because even now, like I'm even thinking, fuck, Hannah asked me the other day, my partner, I probably mention her on every single podcast, but she's a big part of my life.
She's got her own podcast as well.
She does. But she asked me the other day, like, what do you really want? Like, what do you really want? Like, what, if you could do anything, we all have this kind of master plan that like, when I make this much money, then I'll do this, But like, is the plan that we're working on right now, like working towards that master plan? And that's kind of like where we need to kind of figure out, okay, am I actually going towards that or not? But do I know what that even is? So when she asked me, what do you want? Like when I'm actually at my happiest, it's when I'm, like you said, Johnny, at that point where I'm being challenged just enough to the point where it's not overwhelming. But like, I don't want to be like on autopilot either. So like somewhere between the two of them is like where I feel like I want to be. If I had unlimited options to do whatever I want with my life, I would probably just learn. Like I said that to Hannah, I was like, "What?" She was like, "What do you want?" I was like, "I just want to learn. Like I just want to grow what's in here, Yeah.
And that what you're describing there is like the flow state equation, isn't it? Like they talk about how to get into flow state is kind of the intersection between the challenge and your skill set, also your skill level. If the challenge is too much higher than your skill, it can become overwhelm. And if the challenge is too easy compared to your skill set, it becomes boring. So I think the sweet spot is sitting in the middle. And that's. I think the other thing to lead on from that is like I guess 2022, like what a privileged time we live in. We have choices to be able to live in that zone in the middle. Like beautiful, because once upon a time that wasn't always the thing.
And you know what? I don't like the word privileged, right? And I don't like the word entitled, because I've been called both, which kind of sucks. We were having a family dinner, and my brother was around, and he goes, "Oh, how you doing with all this?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, kind of. It sucks that I can't travel. I can't, can't do the things that I used to do before, And he's like, "Oh, poor you. You can't go to Bali for a holiday." And I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" And he goes, "Oh, well, it's your privileged lifestyle, and you're missing out on it." And I'm like, "But it's not privilege. It's sort of, we grew up in the same household. We were immigrants. We were refugees. We came from the same background. Our DNA is exactly the same, and yet our outlook is so like polar opposite. And to get called privileged by someone that I grew up with kind of sucks. And you don't want to feel like you're entitled to your privilege, but these are the things that I do, and these are the things that I've done for 30 odd years. I've travelled. I've been able to go overseas with my career, do all this crazy stuff, and this last 2 years, I haven't been able to do that. And it sucks. And it's been really, really hard. Yeah. And now that things are kind of like opening up again and, we're booking holidays, we're booking education, interstate, that sort of thing. It's kind of like, yeah, you know what? Screw it. If that's privilege and entitlement, then I'm going to own it. Because, I'm entitled to do those things because I work hard for them and I put my ass on the line every single day. And if that's the reward, then some people call it entitlement. I call it reward,
Yeah. Well, you've earned it,
Yeah.
There's a difference. Is like when you've earned it, it's different,
But people confuse that with privilege.
Absolutely.
And they go, "You're privileged." I'm like, "No, I'm not privileged. I just work hard."
Yeah.
And the fact that they can't see the difference between those two is, it's quite scary.
And it's tough, I think, when the things that bring you joy get taken away from you. That's the other thing as well. It's like you spent your whole life, same with all of us. The things that brought us joy were taken away from us over the last 2 years. That's not an easy adjustment.
No,
no matter how huge.
Yep.
How strong we are in the mind, it's not an easy adjustment.
And I think I'm a bit of a meme junkie. I'd love a good meme, and I read one that said, we're not all in the same boat. We're all in the same storm, but some of us are in dinghies and some of us are in yachts. And you kind of think that's so true. We are all in the same storm, but we're navigating through it in completely different ways, kind of thing. The pressures are still there. But yeah, there are people in dinghies that are just kind of trying to paddle through, and there are other people on their $20 million yachts going, I can't see a problem with this, sort of thing.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And I think, when we say, whenever I use the word privilege, I'm totally with you on that, because I feel that from where I'm from as well. That's why coming here to Australia and not knowing anybody and creating what I've created for my career here is kind of like, fuck you. Like, I can do this without my mom being a hairdresser, or without my family having money in the past, like all that stuff. So yeah, I'm totally with you there. But like, when it comes to the privilege, it's like, when we speak about it, say generalized, it's kind of like, all right, the world is very, like, we're at a point where it's like, we have ridiculous things like getting our hair done to this degree. And
but that's still the reward that almost the collective has put itself in, isn't it?
I
think that's what I mean by it. It's like,
we just happen to be here,
Like,
we just happen to be this generation. It's not our fault that we were born into this.
No.
It's not the kids' fault these days that they're born with iPads when they come out.
Yeah.
Straight away, iPad, boom.
iPad, for your first birthday.
Straight away, adapting to the screens.
I think it's like when you say, you came from, like, your family are farmers. I come from a village that's smaller than Hindley Street, and now you know what Hindley Street looks like. You know how small my village was.
Yeah.
And all my family were all like, farmers and all that sort of thing. So it's a different perspective, I think, that we have when we're in somewhere like Australia. You kind of think, we do have all this privilege kind of thing, but you recognise that because you're from somewhere else. I think are we getting the wind up? Sorry, Biff 2.
Biff 2's waving at us.
Yeah, I'm still here. What is your background, Johnny?
Greek.
Cool.
Greek, 'cause I'm from Cyprus.
Yep.
So I was born about 2 months before the war.
Right.
We were refugees for a couple of years over there when the Turkish invaded, and then we were sponsored to come out here.
Amazing.
So it's crazy times.
Yeah.
Have you gone back much?
I've been back twice. So I did the pilgrimage when I was 21. The parents are like, "Do you want to party or do you want to go overseas?" And I'm like, "Go overseas."
Yeah.
So I went back at 21 with my brother, and that was really, really cool. And once when I think it was 8.
Okay, cool.
Beautiful place, stunning place.
Yeah. I've never been to Greece actually.
Yeah, I'm from Cyprus, so it's over. But it's stunning.
Yeah.
It's a big destination for people from the UK, Cyprus.
Yeah,
a lot of people retire
there.
to like northern Cyprus.
Yeah, English and Russians.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
stacks and they're buying up, unfortunately, which is not good. Now they've got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
True. So how did you actually end up getting into hair then? Like, take us back to that.
I started as an apprentice chef, and then my mum didn't like the idea of her daughter-in-law being at home on a Saturday night while I was, in a restaurant. So got rid of the daughter-in-law first, and then got into hairdressing afterwards. Yeah, it was just my uncle just said, do you want to come into the shop? And he had a barber shop. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I went into his barber shop and spent probably about 6 months there, and then got into an apprenticeship after that, and that was that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's funny how I started in barbering, and look, I liked it. I didn't love it, but then after 6 months, I thought, nah, hairdressing is kind of more for me. And then years later, I sort of get rid of the hairdressing and go back into the barbering, which is it's a big change. It's very, very different. I think one of the things that I love about the two of you and what you do is the fact that you have a hairdressing background, and it really. It's totally different. I didn't think that barbering was going to be that much different to hairdressing. I just thought, okay, well, I'm on boys instead of girls. It's shorter hair, shorter appointments, but it's a whole different skill set and a whole different mindset as well. And that was probably the most surprising thing coming into barbering after so many years doing like ladies' hair. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. So when you say the village you're from is like a small village, whereabouts is that? Is it in South Australia still?
No, Cyprus.
Oh, so that's where, okay.
Yes, that's where I'm originally from.
So then you came to Adelaide from
Yeah, we came to Adelaide from there, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so you've been in Adelaide most of your
most of my life.
Yeah. Nice.
But, it's that same background, that
Yeah.
people over there have this weird concept of what we do.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you're doing that. It's crazy.
Yeah, mad. And so when you came to Adelaide then, were you in a salon for a while before you're now at like the Barbery, right? Crafted the Barber?
Yeah.
Were you at a salon first for many years, or like how did your career kind of...
Well, it was 6 months of barbering and then 29 years of hairdressing in a salon.
Yeah, wow.
And then Donnie, the owner of Barbery, we did our apprenticeship together.
Nice.
So we were in trade school together, we were in the same class, and we'd lost contact for years, and then he was going through the whole process of opening up Barbery as an RTO, and he rang us at Parlour where I was working, and he's like, we need a bit of advice on this and that. I'm like, yeah, sure, come on in, and we kind of just reconnected after 30 odd years there, and then I had a few changes in work, and then I rang him up one day. I just said, look, I want to get out of hairdressing and get into barbering. And he's like, come on in. And then they employed me on the spot, and that was that. So
awesome. The rest is history.
Yeah. And look, we've done a lot of really cool stuff in the last couple of years. It's been a lot of fun. And like I said, it's very, very different. I mean, barbering is a niche within a niche. Our hairdressing industry is so small. And then you have barbering that kind of sits within that as well. It's it's very, very niche. And very different.
Yeah, it's almost like a little subculture within the hair industry, isn't it? They're all the little bubbles, and it's interesting. We kind of dip our toe in a few different pies, or like we kind of get in amongst a couple of those different subcultures, I guess you could say. But no, it's been awesome. Like even since I came to Australia, I don't know if Barbery. How long has Barbery been around?
2016.
2016, yeah. It would have been around the time that I arrived then that it was kind of being founded and started. So I've been able to follow the journey of that as well. And like what you guys have been doing is great. Fantastic. I met you guys, I think, for the first time at like some of the awards.
Yeah.
And the competitions and
awards,
stuff. Yeah, I remember and Anthony was doing the competitions and stuff for the first time. That's when I kind of got to know you guys.
Yep.
And then we were on the Andes team and stuff like that together, and it's been awesome just to follow you guys' journey.
Oh, look, it's an interesting journey. Like I look at last night at the show, and half the audience were our students.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like right, you're in class, you're in class, you're in class, and you're in class. See you all Monday morning. Don't get too trashed tonight, please.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
And that's how tight and small the industry is, especially in South Australia, because we're obviously a lot smaller than Victoria. But you'd probably notice it in Victoria as well. It's like I said, it's that niche within a niche. You know everyone kind of thing, and it's is it as tight knit over there?
I would say it's it would be. There's not as many there's not too many events. I guess for you guys, you have the college and the RTO, and the students come there, and that's kind of like the hub, right? They come from maybe different shops where they're placed, and then they come and that's their hub. But we don't really have that, not yet anyway. there's nowhere really like that. But when we do the events and stuff, people come together. But there's always, there's always a bit of division as well. You'll get that everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
is that somewhere you're going to take yourself down the RTO track?
Don't know. Not sure if it's something that like really interests me too much.
Yep.
As I'm sure you can probably imagine. But I don't know if it's something that really interests us too much. We're toying with the idea at the moment of like providing the network as an extra learning resource for RTOs. And we're testing that out at the moment with the Barber Academy in the Gold Coast. We're seeing how that kind of runs, and then we might offer that then to more RTOs if they find it successful. But for us, we really want to make sure that it's like right,
Yep.
And the RTO route, I don't know if I would be really that interested in it.
Yeah.
It would require a much bigger team than just
The two of
us two.
Yeah.
And then it's about finding the right team that can, get our vision across in the right way.
Yep.
Deliver it accordingly.
Yeah.
Have that kind of same enthusiasm and motivation and.
Yeah, well, look, in some ways you're kind of, well, I don't think it's blessed, but you're blessed in that you don't need a qualification to work as a barber in Melbourne.
True. You do it here, yeah?
Yeah, South Australia and New South Wales are the only ones that have legislation that require you to hold your certificate to work in a shop. No other state does. So I know Queensland doesn't, Tassie, Perth.
Wow.
You don't need a qual.
Mad, isn't it?
Which is crazy. It's like it's a skill set that it takes a while to master, and yet
it should really be a thing by now. People should have the qualification. I actually got mine for my when I had to do my visa application.
Okay.
I got my Cert 3 as a like RPL.
Yep.
But I had to tell a few white lies, to get it. But like I was able to do all of the things,
Yeah.
And like arguably, I did kind of fast track my career to a degree.
Yep.
The first year I was cutting hair, I was doing like 70, 80 haircuts a week,
Yeah.
like flat out, like just absorbing everything, like just going crazy. And running my own business. So I got a lot of experience in that first year, And I think that kind of almost, my mom owns a salon, she's owned a salon for over 30 years. And at the end of it, she was like, I think you're kind of like reasonably qualified now. But I couldn't shave, I couldn't do all of these things. But I've never had to.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like I've never actually had to like to shave or, I've been in a few of the RTO kind of meetings with the hairdressing council and that, and there's always, a few people saying, you're not a barber if you can't shave. And it's like, well...
All right. I've got my qual. I'm going to say that I have my qualification as a barber. I can shave, but physically I can't do it. Like whenever I put a razor to somebody's face, I actually feel like gagging.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. Like I just don't want to go anywhere near the neck with the razor.
Here.
Yeah.
No way.
No.
I can do a head quite easily. That's relaxing. Yeah. But as soon as you get to that razor on the face, I'm like, nah.
I know, it's like, have you ever heard of a trimmer?
Yeah. And a foil?
The other
It's
thing
way
is as well,
safer.
like what can we do with a blade that a Mac 3 can't do?
Yeah,
These
exactly.
guys are like now saying, they don't get it close enough. I'm like, well, because you got 5 blades on your razor. And I got one.
And it's way more dangerous. There's so much more room for human error.
Yeah.
Imagine one of them days you are on autopilot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just see shaving as like a relaxation piece now.
Yeah.
It's a bit of pampering, a bit of relaxation.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessary really.
No, it's like a woman's blow dry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Over the Adam's apple gets me. No thanks. When people have the real sharp one, the pointy one? No thanks.
No.
No, thank you.
And that's my biggest focus at school. One of the things that I always talk about with my boys and girls, I call them my kids, is do something for your client that they can't do at home. Yeah. Give them an experience that they can't do themselves at home. And, if it happens to be a shave, because some people are hopeless at shaving, then it's a shave. If it happens to be, this really cool haircut or this blow dry, then that's cool. But if it's something that they can't do at home, then to me, there's value in that. But if they can do it at home or anywhere else at a cheap price, then I'm just like, whatever. Can't bothered. It's got to be a value to the person.
But yeah, mad. I think it's an interesting space, like teaching people from scratch. For me, like I did have a slight experience of it over lockdown. I gave it a crack. I brought a friend of mine in, and I tried to show him how to cut from scratch. Holding the comb, holding the scissors. And it brought me back to remembering when I first started holding the comb and holding the scissors, and I was like, Bloody hell. Actually, I did a one-on-one with a guy last week, and he was left-handed.
Oh, wow.
And I picked up his scissors and I tried to do it the other way around, and it literally brought me back to like when I first started.
Yeah.
It literally felt like I was like, oh my god, this is everything's backwards. Like I just can't do it. You know. So for me, that equaled a lot of like frustration on my end. I was just like, oh, I just wasn't getting the quite enough of the A to B type of feeling that I get. Because when I was cycling, what I loved about cycling was the training process. You know, you have a thing on your program, A to B, tick the boxes, get the job done. Happy days, dopamine, off I go. Like sleep well at night. But I just found that hard, and it takes a different type of skill set, doesn't it? Like doing what we do, like the upskilling versus like starting people from scratch.
There's
what would you say are the main differences between the two?
Look, I have a lot of problems with the industry at the moment, like a truckload, and we could be here for the rest of the day talking about them, and I don't want to.
Great.
But
Let's do it.
We've got some time.
But when I see hairdressers calling themselves educators, like that really, it rubs my goat, because at the end of the day, you're not, to me, an educator is somebody that can take someone from A to Z. Most hairdressing educators take them from about the L mark or the M mark, and they go from there. You know, they're teaching people that already have a massive grasp of every single concept in hair, and all they're doing is just kind of like adding to their repertoire. Whereas an educator for me is someone that can grab that kid from day one that literally doesn't know how to hold a pair of scissors or a comb and start their journey from there. And, you know, maybe that's my personal gripe, because I'm an RTO teacher rather than, you know, I was doing seminar work for years and years before I got into RTO work. So that was a huge difference for me, kind of going, okay, well, now I've got to grab someone from the A point rather than the halfway mark and onwards. So, yeah, it is a different skill set, and you've got to have, I think, a lot more patience. You've also got to be a lot more nurturing as well. Because like I said earlier, picking up hair on a person's head is weird, you know, and then knowing how to pick it up and, you know, hold it the right way and knowing why you do all of those things, but trying to get that across to people is, it's quite a specific skill set. And I've seen a lot of amazing hairdressers that can't teach because that they don't have that ability to break down a task into its components and then deliver them and then put them together for someone. You know, and that's, I guess, the key difference between, do we call them educators in the industry? Seminar workers?
Well, this is the thing, right?
Educators?
Like, it's actually a really valid
Sharers. They
Sharers.
just share.
Well, that's the thing. I actually, I don't know if you noticed, but on my Instagram bio recently, I've changed, like, I took a lot of the titles off it. Because you kind of just fall into this, like, educator role. You know, like, I
Someone gave you that title.
Basically, like, I was in the industry for 2 years, and all of a sudden, you're now part of the Andis Global Education team. It's like, okay, but, like, I'm not an educator.
What does that mean?
What is an educator? You know, like, because I don't know, or my teachers in school, were they educators? Because I didn't learn much from them. But then it's like, I just think about it like, if you, to get back to my point on my bio, I've now put like sharer of life and hair, or like coach. Like we're more coaches, aren't we? We're kind of coaching people from a certain point to a certain point. And somebody once said to me, I think it was actually Gay from Andis, about like the teaching side of things. It's like you almost have to teach people in such a way where it's like breaking it down to the point where it's like, if you had to teach someone how to brush their teeth from scratch, you know, like, why do you put the water on the toothbrush? Like, why do you put that amount of paste on the toothbrush? Like, all these little things that a lot of people just skip out, because for a lot of people it's very indulgent, you know, it's a very indulgent thing for them to do. Like, they'll say, I'm an educator, but really all you want to do is show your work off. You just want to show off how good you are and get praise for it. It's a very indulgent thing. It's a big difference. You know,
that's why I got rid of my Instagram.
I
deleted it.
I was going to ask you that before we started, but I slipped my mind. We got busy talking about other stuff probably. I was looking for you to tag you for all these events. Like, where's Bam Bam the Barber gone?
No, he's gone.
That's why I asked you that last night, because someone else said, "Oh, what's Johnny's Instagram?" I was like, I think he deleted it. I was like, I'll go and ask him.
And you have yourself to blame, because it was on the back of, I can't remember which podcast it was.
Your fault, mate.
It's your fault.
They're dropping like flies.
Destroying the industry one person at a time.
You're killing us all.
They're dropping like flies.
Fuck.
So if you can't find me on the socials, blame him. Because you mentioned it. You were talking about your bio and what you wrote about yourself, and I'm like, I'm just going to take it a little step further and just get rid of the whole fucker. See you later.
Fucking off completely.
Start again.
This is just me tooting my own horn and putting up photos of my own hair. I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
So bang, it's gone. Yeah.
I know, it's like I really struggle with all of the kind of title stuff now. Like, I went and I won't mention any names, but we went and did like a couple of, over the past few weeks I've had to do a couple of introductions, like introduce yourself to everyone, and it's like, I'm just on, and I'm a curious human, like, can I not say anything else? Like, I don't want to tell you about like I did this and I did this person's hair and I did that, because that doesn't mean like, that doesn't add up to like who I am as a person. Like I can take all of that, like now, knowing what I know now, I could take all that stuff away and I'd still be just as happy.
Yeah, totally.
I'd be fine without any of it,
Yeah.
Take it all, like I don't care. Like I'm actually testing myself with attachment, like giving stuff away. Like I don't really care. That's why last night, like we'll make such jokes, like, about the lead 2-time Barbery of the year. Like we'll just almost go Jim Carrey on it, And it's fun when you can look at it like that way. It's almost a little bit of fun.
Yeah, look, it's got to be fun.
I
think Jake was another instigator for me.
Jake,
because he was. I always looked at his profile. And I'm like, followed by 7,000 people, follows 3.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, hey, you follow 3 people, and look at the people that he actually follows. I'm going, okay, cool, I'd follow those 3 people too, But then he gets into his stories, and he's like, it's all about eliminating the white noise, and I'm kind of like, most of social media and all that bullshit is white noise, and all it takes is 2 buttons to delete and get rid of the white noise, and
that's literally what we
great.
call it.
Yeah,
it's really good.
No, it's honestly, it's been like, and this is the thing, I think it's trying to distinguish the difference between unfollowing people and muting people and actually being friends with them in real life.
Yeah.
Like, I think if people can really distinguish the difference between the two of them things and like be okay with it, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Like for me, like 90% of my feed is probably muted, maybe more. And these days, I follow someone back.
Yeah.
Just out of like, because I know that it might make somebody feel good if I follow them back.
Yeah.
If we've had a connection. And
no one follows me.
Yeah, like it might be like, it just might be a nice thing, They might be like, oh, that's actually really nice, you follow me back. But like 90% of the time, I will mute you straight away. Like
so I follow and mute.
I follow and mute, and it's just like, because I'm very protective of like my energy.
Yeah.
Like I look at my energy like it's an iPhone battery, and like if I'm waking up in the morning and the first thing I'm seeing is something that I don't need to see, it's just taking away from the opportunities and that flow state that I want to be in. It's taken away from that because it's just unnecessary. I don't need to see it.
Yeah. But what it does though is it makes you like it gives you an extra task in your day, and that task is to make a concerted effort to contact, connect, and reach out more. So when you remove an avenue of your social media, just even just the one, then you kind of have to rely on the other ones that little bit more. And, after getting rid of that account, my photography account is all people from overseas. So it's very few people that are in Australia. So it's all about the work that I do photography-wise. So it's now relying on, I guess, my Facebook as my point of contact for people, and, obviously the phone and the real world and phone calls and that sort of thing. And I have the other curse where I don't like people, unfortunately, which kind of sucks.
Brilliant.
It's really bad for a barber to say that. We're in an industry where people are our livelihood, and I get a lot of social anxiety and that sort of thing, and COVID has been one of those things that it's been fantastic because everybody's like, oh, how were you in ICE? And I'm like, fucking loving life. I don't like people, so it was fantastic to have a real reason not to see them.
I just explained that on the last podcast that just come out today. I talk about friendships. I find it hard to build friendships.
Yep.
Not because I think the thing that I say on the podcast, people annoy me. I don't think it's not because I don't like them. It's because I'm really sensitive to energy.
Yeah,
really
totally.
friggin' sensitive.
Totally.
But I'm like, if there's something I'm not getting, I'm like, oh, just fucking annoyed, and then it stops me from making that initial connection.
Yep.
And lockdown was great for me.
Yeah.
We loved it.
We come and clients are asking me, I had a lovely time.
We loved it.
I had a lovely time. It
That's
was
like that's life by design.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
that
was
is literally life by design.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only person I had to talk to was Owen, which
Yeah.
that was annoying in
Not a
itself.
bad
But, you
person
know.
to talk to.
But you know, I had my purpose every day. We were building out the network.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, like
First
it
time
was
like in
fantastic.
a long time that I'd experienced that.
Yeah.
And it makes you realise, you go, oh wow, yeah.
It's funny,
There's
isn't
a
it?
lot of
'Cause
noise in life.
we're just like, we almost have to switch off like who we are in this industry sometimes to like give to everyone else.
Yep.
Like we're in service to everyone.
Yep.
Like but ourselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a very
At times.
outward,
At
it's a very
times.
outward
Yeah.
thing.
Not
Isn't
always,
is.
but at times. And like I've realized, like when I think back to my childhood, we were thinking about this or talking about this earlier. When I think back to my childhood, like I used to love just being by myself. You know, I'd spend hours just, even if it was just organizing things and cleaning my room or like taking the whole thing apart and putting it back together, but listening to music and being by myself when I'm doing that. And like lockdown kind of brought me back to like that kind of like, I guess, introverted kind of state. It's funny because like I don't, again, not putting labels to myself or anything, but I am an introverted extrovert. Like I have extroverted characteristics. Like, you know, and to do what we do requires you to do that.
Yeah.
Like, but if you saw what happened last night and you saw the way, like, you know, that we delivered the show or whatever, you'd say, oh, that guy's an extrovert. Like, you know, but I'm not. I don't get I don't need other people for energy. I'm okay by myself.
Yeah, I'm totally socially awkward, and I have a couple of different ways of dealing with it. I either get there really early if I got to go somewhere. I'll get there really early, scope the place out, find my little nana chair, find my little areas, find my groups, and I'll have everything kind of in place before the evening really kind of kicks off, and that makes me comfortable. Or I'll get there really, really late, knowing that my friends are going to be there. They've established all of those, you know, social norm groups and everything and sorted themselves out, and I can just come in late and just slot into one of those and be just as comfortable. But last night I didn't have the option of coming late because I was up first. So I came in early and I'm like, right, I'll set myself up and get myself all nannered and ready for the evening. And that's how I've learnt to deal with my social anxiety and kind of awkwardness and dislike of people, which is really weird.
Yeah.
No, it's cool because I feel like I'm actually, like, that's resonating a lot with me right now because I kind of probably feel that way too. I'm early for everything. If I'm not early, like half an hour early, I'm fucking wigged out.
Yep.
You know, and Hannah, like, I love her, she's great. But, geez, she pushes me sometimes. She knows she does too. You know? She'd be like, oh, it's fine, we'll be fine. We're like, we'll leave. We're always like leaving the house 15 minutes after, like, when I'd love to be leaving, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it just heightens me though.
It's
But
one of
it
my
puts
biggest
me,
frustrations.
it puts me in a really heightened state, and then it just takes away from it the whole kind of. But then maybe it's like, oh, fucking hell on, just relax a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine. It happened like that because it was meant to happen. It's almost going full Peter Crone on it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you also live in Melbourne where, you know, being late is just part and parcel of living in a big city, whereas in Adelaide it takes 5 minutes to get anywhere. So you have the option of choice. You can choose to be either early, on time, or late, depending on how messed up you are in the head.
But sometimes it's cool to be late, you know?
yeah. You could be fashionably late too, you know?
Not if you're one of our clients, you can't be late. That's not cool.
I fashionably cancel that. That's one that I really sorry I can't make it tonight. And again, that's a me thing, and it causes a lot more problems, obviously, longer term, because you miss out on those, you know, the building of your relationships and that sort of thing in your social network. But again, it's part and parcel of knowing who you are and that sort of thing. But I think one of the things that for me, you know how they say, if you could go back X amount of years and do whatever, learning the skill of being present is really, really important. And that's the one thing that we try and do every single day, is try and teach our kids that wherever you are, be there, so that when you're not there and you're somewhere else, then you're somewhere else, you know. And it really saves a lot of head fuck a lot of the time when your brain's kind of scattered throughout your whole life and you don't know how to be present. Then you end up with a lot more kind of social disorders and anxieties and that kind of thing, you know.
100%.
And it's a skill that I wish I'd learned a long time ago, as opposed to, you know, getting to my 40s and learning it. And it's not something that we got taught when we were young and in barber or hairdressing school. You know, we didn't get taught those life skills. We just got taught how to do hair, how to keep a client, how to sell retail to that client, and then how to rebook them. You know, and that was our job. You know, sell retail, rebook, and make your figures, and make sure that they come back in 6 weeks. Otherwise, you don't have a job. Kind of thing. We didn't get taught every other skill that goes along with what we do, and you know, and that I think has it's caused me problems because it's gotten me to a point where, you know, I'm here and I'm kind of learning the things now that I wish I'd learned years ago. But the good thing is I'm also teaching those skills, you know, so getting kids that are at that sort of that A part of their education going, okay, well, this is what's going to happen to you in your career. This is what potentially could happen to you. You need to be prepared for this. You need to be prepared for that. You need to have these skills so you can cope with all of these things.
100%. I love that because like that our angle in what we do is kind of pushing towards that too. I think we're kind of, you know, the aesthetic and the cool stuff, it kind of ropes people in initially. But when you're in with us, it's deep. Like, you know, we're getting straight to the deep shit. And it's like, all right, enough of this being cool stuff. Like, it's not even about that. We don't even care about that. But like, learn from our mistakes.
I love that you're not about hair.
Yeah.
To me, I don't see you guys as, you know, hair educators. You know, there's so much more. Hair is obviously the medium that you use.
We do it.
But there's so much more to what you do.
We look at it as like, here's the door. You know, we'll bring you to the door. Once you open the door, all right, you're in now. You know, we're taking you deep down the rabbit
exactly.
hole,
And you guys are like the 32-acre plot of land kind of thing. There's so much more to what you do, and I think that's really, really important now. And I think you've come in at a really, really good point. I guess in the evolution of the hair industry and the evolution of the people as well. You know, you're at a really, really good point to change what's going on in our industry because it sucks at the moment.
Yeah,
it's a real shithole.
It kind of does, and it sucks. What sucks about it is it sucks for the people, and what over time, I guess we've all allowed the industry to become like without. But it's not even. It is our fault and it's not our fault, in my opinion, because when you're unconscious to it, you're unaware of it. You can't really be your fault because you're just unaware of it. But when you do become conscious of it and then it's still allow it to happen, then it's our fault.
Well, somebody was conscious of it at some point while you were unconscious of it. So somebody is to blame. You know, and it may not be you that was going through at that same time, but somebody on the same sphere as you, traveling that same path, they were conscious of it and they created it and you were unconscious of it and you were kind of like, okay, well, this is what's happening, but that's the person that made it, you know, and we can sit here and point to a few of those people that have made it that way. And
absolutely,
you know,
I just think of industry factories like blowing smoke, you know, and like let's just fucking make money, like let's go.
And that's it. And it relates back to what you said a minute ago. We just haven't put the human stuff first enough. You know, it's all been about the numbers and the can you rebook a client and can you do their hair this well and can you get them back and can you sell them a product. That's all the outwardly business aspects of it. But what about the human
That's not
stuff?
what it's about.
We wake up as a human first every day.
Exactly.
And I love that you're bringing that to your kids too. It's brilliant. Like, that's the shit, because you bulletproof them then.
Oh, totally.
And then they can take that shit anywhere. And that's why we encourage it. It's like, you know, it doesn't have to be hair that you do. The stuff that we help you with bulletproofs you for all sorts of stuff. You know?
Exactly.
Like you can leave, like we will, if you're thinking about leaving the hair industry and it's really not for you, like we will encourage that.
Totally.
You know, we won't try to like turn somebody back around and be like, no, like this is what you got to do because hair is life, you know, like no way. Like, it's definitely not life.
Quitters
like,
are winners.
Yeah, like to be honest,
I love that one.
Quitting's for winners. Yeah, it is. And like, it's so weird. Like coming to this show last night, I was saying to Lee, I was like, I don't even know if I don't even really want to do a haircut, like, because that's not what last night was about. But then it's like, every fucking few weeks, the vision is changing slightly. You know, it's maneuvering. It's kind of changing. Like, you know, even compared to when we started doing the Reconnect shows up to where we are now. And then I'd love to, like, we're going to have Jake on the podcast at some point, and I can't wait to have a chat with him about, like, his views, because he's doing a show, I think, at Hair Festival or Barber Expo. He was supposed to, at Barber Expo, called Do Less, I think it was called.
Nice. That'll be cool.
You know? And, like, just about doing less and how that's actually more beneficial for you than, like, what we've initially been brought up on is like doing more. Now that's just my presumption of what he was going to share, but like that's very powerful. You know, doing less but doing the right things. You know, we're not as humans these days, we don't give ourselves enough room to or space to actually process everything that's fucking going on.
No.
What is actually really going on? Like, no,
Yeah.
No one knows.
no one
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, I think the stats stand at the minute. I think in a day you will consume more information than somebody would in the whole year. Is it 100 years ago?
100 years
Yes.
ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's fucking-
And
A
that's
whole
nuts.
year. That's
Yeah.
mental.
Yeah.
Like, where does all that shit go?
Yeah.
And how is that actually affecting our
Yeah,
unconscious?
it's
You know,
it's
like-
in there, and it's spinning around, and it's.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this on the way home last night. Like if somebody asks you for your advice now on the industry, and then they'd ask you what your advice would be 5 years ago and 10 years ago, and in my case 15, 20 and 30 years ago, you know, my advice will be completely different. And I look at the advice that I give my kids now, and I kind of think it's different to what it was 5 years ago, and totally different to what it was 10 years ago. And it's really interesting to see how that advice changes, because we're in a position where we're entrusted with people's education, essentially. And, you know, we have a massive responsibility to be able to take that person, teach them a skill, but then, you know, teach them how to navigate that skill in their world as well. And, my advice has changed completely. You know, a lot of the
I
time
love
it's
that.
don't do it.
I'm going to take a toilet break. Just sorry, guys. You can have a yarn there for a sec.
That takes a massive amount of awareness as well. Like, I love that point. I look at like life like that as well. That's a quality of leadership right there. I look at therapy, like if you go to a psychologist or therapist, I really feel like I look at it like that over time. Help is or advice is very time sensitive.
Yep.
Like exactly like you said, what we might have needed 5 years ago or 10 years ago isn't the stuff that we need now.
Yeah.
And it might not be the stuff we need in another 5 years
No,
time.
no, exactly.
But right now, as a great leader, we need to be able to have the awareness to see it and to adjust to it and help those generations move forward.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
have the best life that they can. Like you said, we are responsible for their education. We're also responsible for like a part of their lives too.
Oh, totally.
You know?
I mean, you know, the good thing, I guess, about what we do is, like I said earlier, you know, you put on Facebook that you're in LA doing this, or you're in Malaysia doing this crazy hair show with, 300 people or whatever. And, it's sort of, our career takes us to all of those places, but, is that necessary? And I look at a lot of that stuff now and I kind of think, wow, yeah, it was fun at the time. And, at the end of last year, like I said, I got rid of my Instagram and, I decided to stop competing and doing all that sort of stuff. And a lot of my kids were like, why did you decide to stop? And I'm like, it's just like, I'm over it. Like, you kind of think, why was I doing it? To get that trophy and hold the door open kind of thing.
That's it. I've had to readjust my mindset on it. Competition has been an interesting one for me. It's been an anchor point in my career. Mm-hmm. I've always been quite competition driven. I did a lot of sports growing up, and when the first salon that I ever worked in, they were big into competitions. They were in the British hairdressing team, and I think that's was the anchor point. I didn't really care for the glamour. I was like, oh, there's a competition. Oh, cool. I'm just gonna try and get good at this and do that. But now, I've gone through that whole thing of just been like, nah, this sucks. I'm not doing it anymore. Why would I just, try and please a certain type of person with a certain amount of things at that moment in time, and I just look at it as a marketing piece now. It's a great marketing piece, if
it is
like
marketing.
we were saying, we're trying to drag someone to the door. If that award helps with that, great. And like with yourself, all the shows, all the editorial stuff that you've done, it helps now with your passion. Photography, lovely. People are going to trust you have that social proof now.
Yeah, exactly.
And they trust that. And I've just got that's not easy to do. I've got to remind myself all the time of why I do that, And like last night when Owen's like, "Oh, here's 2-time Barber of the Year," I was in my head, I'm like, I actually don't care, But it's the marketing piece for me. It's like if that puts more eyes on us to share our message, then great.
It opens up a few ears, doesn't it? Like people start listening more when you have a few like titles to a degree.
And I think
it's sad, but
it's sad, but
it's kind of bollocks. It really is.
It is.
I tell my kids to compete for one reason and one reason alone. I say, A, don't do it for the industry, because the industry will forget about you as soon as you stop winning trophies. That's just the nature of the industry. So the only reason that you guys need to compete is it makes you look at your work differently, and it makes you like hone and refine your skill. And if you get that out of competition work, Even if you don't win a fucking trophy, like big deal.
Yeah.
You've actually like you've honed your craft, and you've really, you know, you look at this haircut, you look at it from every single angle, and you're kind of like, okay, well, how's that going to shoot, and how's that going to read, and it really makes you refine your physical skill, and then the sense of pride that you get at the end of that when you get that photo back from your photographer. To me, that's the cool stuff, and that's what I want my kids to learn.
Yeah.
Yes, if they enter and they get a prize and yada yada yada, it's, you know, it's great. I mean, at the end of the day, I've only got 2 doors in my house. It's the front one and the back one, right? Yeah. So any more than 2 trophies is kind of useless.
I love Jamie Furlan helped me a lot with my mindset around like the photographer work and the awards, because we had him on the podcast, and I think he said it on the podcast. We asked him, well, why does he keep doing it? Why do you keep doing the shoots? And he put it beautifully. It was like, it's just like it's a mind dump for him. Once a year, he's like, I just collect up all these ideas and I put it out there.
Yeah.
And he was like, obviously his skill set and taste levels got to a point where it's like award worthy work, right? Like it's gonna be nice whatever he does.
Yeah.
But he was like, it's not really about the win anymore. No. He was like, it's just a nice point. I loved what he said. It was a marker in time as well.
Yep.
You know, you'll look at a certain collection and go, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was where I was right there, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and you can look at the growth from there. And I love that that's been passed to me, because I actually helped somebody else with that. Mama West in Melbourne. Do you know Mama West? Sheridan? No. Anyway, she's a great hairdresser. Shout out to Mama West. I can't wait to see the work that you put out this year. But she asked me a couple of little tips and tricks on that kind of stuff, and a lot of the stuff that I said was that exactly that. Yeah. This was going to be her first shoot, and she was all tied up and, what are this? And a lot of it was around if it was going to be good enough, and is it going to win, and are people going to like it? I said, forget all of that. Yeah. Make this about you. Yeah. It's a marker in time. What are you trying to say with it? Make that message really strong. Yeah. You know, and just... I said, because once you've done it, I said, I guarantee next year you're going to want to do another one. Yep. This isn't the only shoot you're ever going to do. Yeah. And I think that's a really nice way to look at it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it now, whether it wins or not, whatever. You know, naturally as you progress, the taste level and skill level is obviously going to be award worthy.
Look, I'm of 2 minds with that. I kind of like, I think I really started my creative stuff when I went to Parlour. And Robert
awesome salon. I remember them when I lived in Adelaide like 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're fantastic, you know. And Robert and Karen they are like, I consider them my gods of hairdressing, because what they do is, it's really cool. It's client centric. They don't do it for the industry. And they taught me a couple of things. And every time I do a shoot, I've always got them in the back of my mind. And it's like, don't enter to win, because you've lost already. Yeah, you know. And do what you love, and don't be attached to the outcome. And they're 2 things that I remember from them. And it always sticks with me. You know, do what you love, put it out there. If people like it, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. It doesn't mean it's bad or it's good.
Exactly.
You know? And I have a real problem with shaving bits off and leaving tendrils and just doing weird shit that you kind of think, okay, yeah, it's great and it's beautiful and it's an amazing picture, but does the client look at that and go, that's the kind of hairdresser that I want?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
If that's why you're doing your imagery for marketing purposes, a client's not going to look at that and be inspired by that. Every other hairdresser will. So it's like, are you doing it for your industry, or are you doing it for the people that pay your wage every single day kind of thing?
That's
you know,
amazing.
are you doing it to stroke your ego? Because, you know, I can shave someone's head and make it green on top and blue on the bottom and take a beautiful photo and bang, I win, you know? Yeah. What's the purpose? You know, what's the intent behind that?
100%.
And if it's ego driven, then it's kind of like, well, you're kind of doing it for the wrong reason. Yeah. You know?
Yep.
And do it to have fun.
Too. A lot of it is, in my opinion, like ego driven, you know? That's where I'm at with it now. I'm almost gone to the other side of the analytical utility side of the awards, and even the utility side of Instagram. It's like, what is this all eventuating to? Like, what are we sharing? What is the purpose of why we're sharing these things? Yeah. Is it to convert into a sale for our business? Is it to help someone with their lives? Like, what are we trying to achieve other than just putting it up to be like, look how great I am? Yeah. You know, is there an end place where you're trying to bring people? And like, that's where I look at, like, for the awards now. I can't, like, I've only done one of my own personal editorial collections, but like, I can't do another one without having the right concept and inspiration and reason and purpose to want to do it. When I did mine, it was to give myself more exposure so that I could sell more education, so that we could get our message out, so we could get these types of platforms up and running, so we could give ourselves the resources to kind of become the kind of fuel for our business, you know, and our lives essentially. So now I've kind of got that. I'm kind of like, well, do I need to do a collection? You know, I haven't done a collection in since when was that?
2 years ago, I think yours was. Yeah,
2 years ago, whatever.
yeah.
It's like I don't like, you know, Dyson still came and asked me to be an ambassador without doing any editorial work for 2 years. Like, so do I really need to do it? Like, probably not.
Yeah.
Like what I'm doing, I think like what we're doing and what I'm doing on my socials and stuff is probably more important. It's probably what the industry needs a bit more than that.
And it's interesting when you look at your social media. I saw it. There's a photographer that I love, and I saw a story that he put on Instagram. And he's like, okay, due to like the recent algorithm changes, I haven't seen my my followers increase in the last 1 to 2 years. So I'm thinking of closing this account. And that was it. And I kind of thought, like I messaged him and I said, does Beyonce not put out records because she hasn't seen her fan base increase? No, she continues to put out records because she loves what she does. Yes, she's multi-millionaire, but she puts out the album because she loves what she does, her fans love what she does, and they love seeing it. I said, so why are you going to stop taking photos because your fan base and your followers on Instagram hasn't increased because of their algorithm? I said, I love seeing your work and I love seeing everything that you put up. So why would you deny me that just because you haven't got another follower or another 20 followers kind of thing?
Yeah.
And I think that's like, in my opinion, where Instagram and the whole followers thing has ultimately gone wrong. It's forgotten about like the community that you're kind of creating within your followers and nurturing that.
Yeah, totally.
You're not watering the grass where you have it. Like, you know, you're trying to look for new grass always.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like, why?
Yeah,
like that's more work.
Yeah,
because the people who are like, same thing with our following, really. You know, it's been Lee was saying this morning he broke the 4,000 followers mark, and I was like, you should make a big like sarcastic post about it.
We were doing a piss take as we were like, yes.
My life
doesn't make blind difference, does it?
Like, my purpose is.
I was like, my life's worth living now.
But that's the thing. Like, mine goes up as much as it goes down. Like, I lose as many as I gain. But there's always a core, like couple of hundred people who are very like core. Love the stuff. So imagine if I just said, "Oh, I'm going to close this account, guys, because I'm not getting." That would be ridiculous. That's so egocentric. Like,
what was the thing we spoke about the other day with Darren? The 1,000 true followers, or was it the 1,000 true customers or something? That's all you really need, isn't it?
You don't need a lot.
But like, this is the thing, right? I'm in this business course with a guy called Kerwin Ray, and he's got 300,000 followers on Instagram. But the group that I'm in for the business coaching container has got 300 people, and like a lot of the people in that group are probably like staff members and team members of his, and I shouldn't say staff, he tells me never to say staff, but they're just team members or like the talent that works with him, and that's like a 1% conversion rate, you know. So like, I'm looking at things almost from a numbers standpoint now. It's like, well, you don't need to have, if I've 16,000 followers, I don't need all of them to be engaging in all of my stuff. You need like maybe a couple of hundred of them to like being interested. And that's it. It's marketing at the end of the day. But people have tied their actual lives and identity to it too much, to the point where they think that that's where their validation is. Like, if my following account isn't growing, then I'm not growing, which is just ridiculous.
But when you look at the community that you build, as an example, like I look at so I got rid of my Barbery account. And then I bought a drone recently, and I went out to York Peninsula and did a whole stack of drone photography. And, you know, if I look at my stats and I go, okay, so my normal photography gives me, you know, 800, 900, 1,000 likes per photo, for example. And then I look at my drone photography, which gives me maybe 30, 40, 50. I actually really like the 30 or 40 people that are liking, because I'm actually interacting with them more and building this kind of community with them, as opposed to the 800 or 900 that like a photo of a guy in jocks kind of thing.
And that's what we always say about TikTok too. It's like, who's actually managing where the numbers go from TikTok, because it's all well and good like getting all these numbers, and like that doesn't equate to like success in the real world though. Not necessarily. Sometimes it does. I think for like, if you have like an e-commerce type product, that people would be like, oh, that looks like it could come in handy, and then
Yep.
they buy it,
Yep.
direct sales from that. But like as a barber or as a hairdresser, unless we own like a hair product, like how are we making money from TikTok?
Yeah.
Well, when you look at a lot of like I'm going to say color companies, but I'm not going to mention any. I was talking to one about, sponsorship, that sort of thing, and they outright admit if you have less than 10K followers, don't even think about asking.
Whoa.
And you're kind of like, are you shitting me?
That's Black Mirror,
Yeah.
in Black Mirror,
Yeah.
where it's like the social currency. It's literally...
And that's scary for a company to actually sit there and go, one of our policies is you need 10K followers before we will have you as an ambassador. It's kind of like, no wonder the industry is kind of screwed up the way it is,
Yeah.
because you've got companies like that are creating this environment where people then kind of feel like they have to do all of these things to get to all of these
It's
places.
like a hierarchy thing.
Yeah.
And that goes so
Yeah.
deep too, isn't it? And that construes our idea of success then, doesn't it? I think
totally.
something that we learned through Karen Ray is like looking at money is it's just literally one metric of success. It's not the whole metric.
Yeah.
Same as social media following. It's just literally one metric.
Yeah.
It's one
It's
metric
a
in one
gauge.
area.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's like your business side of your life is only one side of your life. Obviously, we all need money to survive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's
Like
I've been-
how are the 10,000 followers that I have that are in Lithuania, Estonia, Poland and Nigeria going to help a colour company in Australia?
Yeah.
To me, the logic of that doesn't make sense.
They should actually monitor the followers
Yeah.
and see where they're all from and how much
Who are they?
engagement
Where are they?
are.
Yep, exactly.
They're not looking at that. They're just literally looking at the outside.
Numbers. Yeah. And from a marketing point of view, it's reach, whereas now it's kind of turned around and it's more about engagement than anything else. And I think Instagram's new rules around reach and engagement are really, really interesting, and how to actually target one and how to target the other. It's
It's going in an interesting direction, and that's why like we really want to build like the community side of it. Like we're putting more effort into our Facebook community group, trying to like get a bit of engagement in there. But then it just takes time. It's a slower burner, and Instagram in the meaning of the word is for instant gratification.
Yeah.
Like if it's not instant, then people don't want to. They just we like, for example, like last night we lost money like by coming here this weekend. In the short term, like we lost money this weekend.
Yep.
But over time, everyone who's there last night, there's a much higher chance of them coming to us for some upskilling,
Yep.
or like coming to the academy or buying our online course, or
Yeah.
we'll make the money back that we lost.
Your gain is exponential down the track, and unfortunately that's not where a lot of people focus. They focus on, okay, well, I'm doing this show, I have to do X, Y, Z. It has to be this to be viable. It's kind of like your show is way more viable, like you say, down the track than what it was last night. It's a shame that you lost money last night, but
But look, like it's not much, like, but we're operating at a loss, like over the course of the weekend.
Yeah.
But then we get to come and we get to do podcasts, and we get to do, like, for example, the podcast is something that right now doesn't make us any money.
Yep.
But does it? Does it not make us any money? Because
When you dig deeper, it
when you
probably
dig
does.
deeper, like the people who are listening are that qualified, warm audience that really like what we do. Like they're them 100, 200 people who really like what we do.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are more likely to actually invest in us. Because when, that's the way we like to look at it, instead of like making money, it's like they're investing in us so that we can actually do more of this, and gain and do more of this. But and it's funny because it doesn't make money. If it's not making money today, and that's something our industry has been brought up on as well. It's like, if it's not making money right now in this moment, if I'm not making $50 in this haircut right now, it's not worth my time.
Yeah.
Because that's we've chunked our, we literally just trade time for money, don't we? In our industry, you chunked it down to your 45-minute increments. Oh, there's a bit of money, there's a bit of money, there's a bit of money.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
the thought of, say, all right, you've got to do all your haircuts for nothing this week, but I'm going to pay you in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
Triple what you'd make today.
Yeah, exactly.
They go,
No.
nah. Why would I do that? It's
Yeah.
yeah.
It's mad to think, isn't it?
It is.
Because
It's
like the fundamentals of like marketing is that.
yeah.
Like, and like you look at some of the most, I guess, in recent times, successful companies in Australia. High Smile is probably one of the most successful. Like, and like I caught one of their cousins, and he gives me a few insights into like how much they pay some of these celebrities. Like they paid Conor McGregor like $2 million to post it on his Instagram.
Wow.
Mental.
That's crazy.
Like, so like imagine like that's how much you have to put out, but like they probably would have made 10 million back from that.
Yeah, easy.
That's
but like
nuts.
that's in our industry, like from my experience and what I see, people would not do that.
No.
Like,
No.
you're crazy. Right? It's like when you go and do like these shows, right? I've been told for years, like, oh, you're crazy going and doing these shows for free. Are you getting paid for that? It's like, no, but like I'm going to be in a room full of like 200-300 potential customers or potential people that can give me more money than what I could be paid from that night.
Yeah,
Even
totally.
in one conversion.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So like, for example, it was funny, like when and this is why I've no problem whatsoever in telling people that we don't sell tickets to shows. Because the reason we put our ticket price so high is because we value our time as much as that price is there, because like we want it to be valuable for them people. Like we want them to see value in it as much as us. Like for us doing this today, instead of doing like, you know, if we sold out our course today for $100 a ticket and there was 8 spots and we made $800, it's like, that's not even like, what's the point, you know? So like we don't do that. We'd prefer not to do it and just have a day to do something like this where it's more productive. We'll learn more from a conversation like this, and that's valuing our time. But
we're not taught value, and that's the problem.
That is the problem.
Yeah.
That is the problem. And I was speaking to the guys about this last night, and a lot of the time our value is tied up in how it looks rather than what it actually is. And I've no problem in telling people that we don't sell tickets, because at our open day, for example, we had 5 people show up, but the day before there was 40 tickets sold, but they were sold for free, so there was no skin in the game. So people can just be like, fuck it, it's not valuable to me. I won't go. But the reason I've got no problem in sharing it is because like what people don't see, they might see only 5 people there, but what they don't see is that we actually made a lot of conversions from that between the online and the people in person. So we like almost 10x our investment on the day. So it's like I have no problem in going online for us. Like I haven't shared that until now, but like I have no problem going on like online and being like, well, only 5 people showed up, and then you know, you always get the 1 or 2 people and be like, like 5 people, fuck it, these dickheads, you know. But that's fine. Like it's so fine, and like I'm not at the point in my life where I'm insecure enough that I have to lie about things. Like we sold no tickets for the workshop tomorrow, and it's a shame. Today.
Today.
But it's a shame, but it's not a shame, because then we get our day. We get our day to do what we want.
Exactly. Like no one's dead.
No one's dead. It is what it is. Like if that's not what people want right now, then that's fine too. You know,
we say it. You know, we're not for everyone, and that's okay.
No,
and that's fine.
That's great.
You know, that might not be the people that we need to be around anyway.
No, exactly. You know, I have this thing with my kids when we talk about value, and I say to them, "What would you do on the weekend?" And they're like, "Oh, you know, cut all my mates' hair on Sunday." I'm like, okay, so how many mates came out? About 15. So you spent Sunday cutting 15 of your mates' hair. They're like, yeah. So what do you charge for a haircut? $10. I'm like, charge 40. And they're like, why would I do that? That's more than what we charge in the shop. I'm like, yeah, but what are you giving up to do your mate's hair on a Sunday?
Exactly.
I said, surely it's worth $40 for a haircut as opposed to 10. I said, you're worth more because your work is great, but you're giving up a whole Sunday to cut your mates because they're stingy bastards and they don't want to go to the shop. So charge the bastards more because what you're giving up to do that is value. And they're like, oh yeah. You know?
100%.
It's so interesting. I've had this conversation with people recently, and you know, I remember someone saying to me during lockdown, you know, would you rather not like just make the $80 like than just do nothing? And I was like, well, the thing is, I value doing nothing as much as I value making the $80 in that moment. Not for a prolonged period of time. Of course, like at a certain time, I'm going to snap myself out of it and I'll make some money when I need to make money. But like being a little bit more calculated is probably necessary for us in terms of like what is the right decision and what's the wrong decision. And a client of mine said something to me the other day. He's a photographer as well. And he was talking about like, we did this thing for Visit Victoria, me and Hannah. We were just like the models for it, which was actually kind of fun. It was funny. But he was just talking about like the price of the campaign and like how much he was getting paid. And it's like, how much life am I willing to trade for like the effort that I'm going to put into making this stuff? And that's what we need to think about. Like, what is your life worth? Like, how much life am I trading for this? Like,
Yeah.
and this is
And I love that conversation too, because I bring that to clients as well, and people talk about their time, and essentially we're all humans and we all have a life, and whose is worth more than the other.
Yeah, exactly. You
know?
know, and
They're
that's
all
how
quite
I got
balanced,
them.
really, aren't they? Like
Yeah.
for someone to say my life is worth more than yours, that's audacious. You know?
Yeah, it is.
Like-
But we have no concept of
No.
a lot of value, and people ask me, how I got into photography, and the reason I got into photography was I rang a girlfriend of mine to do my first collection. I'm like, oh, how much is it to do a shoot? And she's like, it's 3,300. That was her price. And I'm like, for 6 photos? And she's like, yeah. I said, what's that with mates rates? Because, I'm an asshole. And she goes, that is mates rates. I'm like, fuck me. I was like, $3,300 for 6 photos. I kind of thought, all right. So I took that as my budget. I kind of thought, 3,300. I'm going to buy myself a camera. I'm going to buy myself some like photography gear, lighting gear, subscribe to a couple of tutorials online, that kind of thing, learned how to do it, got into it. Years later, people will say to me, how much do you charge for a shoot? And I tell them, and they're like, for 6 photos? I'm like, yeah. And now I can see what that value is, but at the time I had no concept of what that value was, because I kind of thought, we're taking photos and there's only 6 of them for
and again,
a collection.
we're not taught.
No,
it's
we're
the
not.
same with us with haircuts. They go, oh, it's only a haircut. Yeah, but you're valuing what the end result is. Again, it was like 6 photos.
Yeah,
We're
6
only
photos.
seeing.
that's
But
the
it's a
product.
photo.
It's the
It's
product.
like, but all the shit it took to get to the photo,
Yeah. And all the learning that I had to go through
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get that photo to what it looks like
Yeah.
at the end,
Exactly.
that's what you're paying for.
And the time of like the preparation,
Yeah.
and the cost of the equipment,
Yeah.
like it all comes into it.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
not something that people really take notice of.
No, they've got no clue.
It's,
Because they've all got iPhones with great cameras now.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like I went to a seminar, it was this Georgiou, amazing photographer. And I think it was Elle magazine, they hired him to do the cover, and he used an iPhone for it. And he wasn't afraid to admit that he shot the cover of, an international magazine with his iPhone. I kind of thought, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, but I guess when
Yeah.
he's at that point now, it's like, all right, I don't have anything to prove. Let's just do this to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
And like we talk about it context over content as well. It's like, or the other way around, whichever way we say it. It's not always the tool. It's the right tool to get the job done.
Totally.
It's same with cutting hair.
Yeah.
Some people rely on a certain tool, or we've got thousands of tools, but if it gets the job done, it gets the job done, doesn't it? That's
Well,
it.
I got asked last night. They're like, "Oh, how many scissors do you normally use?" I'm like, 2. I've got 1 pair of scissors for cutting, 1 for texturizing. And they're like, "Oh, cool. Well, where were they from?" And I'm like, "Oh, this one was a present from a student that graduated like 10 years ago. She got it for me from Hong Kong. That's my texturizers." And I said, "And these scissors, I just love them because I've had them for about 10 years and I sharpen them every year and they're still beautiful."
And they're lovely. Yeah.
And it's 2 pairs of scissors, and that's literally how I do my work every single day. I don't go for the whole, the kit and caboodle and 25 different sets and the 5-inch and the 6-inch and the 7-inch. And, it's just, like I've got them all. But I only ever use 2.
And that's like me. I try to be like that too. Yeah. Just try.
Yeah, like last night we literally like had like 4 or 5 things like on next to our models.
Yeah.
Like scissors, comb, clips, razor. That's it.
What else do you need?
Not much. Not much.
Keep it
else.
simple.
It's all in here.
It's all
and
the
in here.
context.
Yeah.
It's all the context.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's just one thing, part of what we do, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's trying to teach that though, and I think the biggest challenge that we face is trying to get that across to this younger generation of barbers, that they see all of that with all of these hair educators, and they kind of go, okay, well, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to have the toolkit that's got like the 15 pairs of scissors in it. It's kind of like, yeah, that's great, but you've only got 2 hands. One of them is holding a comb and the other one's holding a pair of scissors. What are you going to do with the other 14 pairs of scissors?
Yeah.
They're just going to sit there in your toolkit and look good.
Yeah.
So
I think when you don't have it, like you look at it, like, and you chase it when you don't have it.
Yeah.
But like I've been fortunate enough, like since I really started doing hair, I haven't had to pay for any equipment.
Yep.
So I actually don't really value it that much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
And I'm grateful for it, but I don't like place value in it, like to the point where it is everything.
Yep.
Because I don't actually. It's not.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
And I work for some of these companies, and I don't go in and like sell all their stuff for them, because they're not. First of all, they don't pay me enough to do that.
Yeah.
And second of all, I'm not selling myself out in exchange for that.
Yeah.
Like our message as humans is more important. That's the way I look at it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have some work to do.
I still pay for my scissors. I still pay to get them sharpened every year.
Well, if the,
Yeah, but I
pay
actually
for
like get paying to sharpen it because that's a dying art.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I want to pay someone to do that. To
I've
get
still
that
got-
done well is actually quite hard now.
I have the same guy, and I've had him since the start of my apprenticeship. So I've
Amazing.
known him for 32 years,
Yeah.
and he does my scissors once a year for me.
Unbelievable.
You know, and to me, to have that relationship over that period of time,
Yep.
I mean, this guy's amazing, and
Yeah.
it's just his skill, and you kind of think, I wouldn't go to anyone else
No,
because I know how good
I
he
just
is.
love that. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that.
We're still recording.
How are we going?
Yeah, I'm just making sure we're still recording.
It's all good.
All good. All good.
Lovely.
We've missed all of that.
No, I was just
But,
making sure because Bifty was gone for a while. So
Yeah.
just
He's having a nap, I reckon.
you never know.
Yeah.
But no, look, interesting topics. Very interesting topics. And I love how it's been a very relaxed conversation, isn't it?
It's crazy.
It's very
lovely.
cruisy. I like it.
So,
I'm in a
Brilliant.
cruisy kind of mood, you know.
Yeah.
Keep
shorts,
going.
We can see your legs
Got
today.
got the legs out.
Not a normal thing for you.
I'm in Adelaide. I'm on holiday. You know,
Glad it's
so,
only the legs, mate.
So what's next for you guys?
what's next for us? Wow, what is next for us?
Got a class tomorrow.
Yeah, we're doing a class tomorrow, for the Adelaide guys. But like in terms of what's next after that, I'm going back to Melbourne for like a day, I think, and then I'm going to Brisbane. I'm actually starting to do some mentorship
Okay.
with people, so
Yep.
I'm gonna try that out, see how that goes, which will be fun. And then I'm actually going to Bali for a few weeks, but I think like we've been talking about it recently. We're going to start reassessing a little bit of what we're doing, and I think we've learned a lot from the last maybe month or so about filling our schedules up too much.
Yep.
Like it's not really. It gets to the
Not
point
good.
where it's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like too much. Like the last couple of times I've left home now, I'm a bit like, oh, I just really don't want to be packing another suitcase. Like, I really don't want to. Like, it looks a lot easier than what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
It's because it's a beautiful suitcase.
Yeah, it is. Shout out to Coffer.
But shout out to Copper. We had a funny conversation a few weeks back. We were at the business course and they were talking about the relationship with commitment, and they have this huge big thing because a lot of people just struggle with committing or
Yep.
doing what they say they're going to do, a bit of integrity, and we were like, we don't have a we don't have a problem with commitment, and we were like, actually no, we do.
Yep.
We overcommit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We go the other way,
Yeah.
our relationship with commitment is pretty bad.
Yep.
Because we commit to too much, I think, and
Yeah.
we've got to readjust that.
I do this thing with Lego with my kids, which is really weird. And your week basically is a collection of Lego blocks, all right? And I look at my week every week and I go, okay, I've got to have X amount of blocks for work, X amount for my social life, X amount for uni. And then I've also got to have like just in case blocks. And I put these little blocks in my calendar of
Cool.
just in case something fucks up here, I've got somewhere to move that and put it so that I can still get that done because that's a priority for the week sort of thing. So it's about priority management, figuring out, not overcommitting, but then if you do overcommit somewhere, then you've got somewhere else to kind of move little blocks of your time sort of thing. And that's
That's
a really
what we
important
don't have.
skill. Yeah.
We don't have any just in case blocks.
Get some just in
We
case
literally
blocks.
don't.
Yeah, no, we
I
don't.
like that one. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, we do need to kind of reconsider that. And yeah, I think I would like to have a bit more space to like kind of think and let things integrate.
Yep.
I think I need some more integration time. That's what's next for me, hopefully.
Yeah.
But like it's hard because when you need it, you've created this schedule for yourself that you kind of can't really get out of.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, that's true. I think uni life for me is really, really interesting because I've discovered that academic people have no sense of humor. And one of my assignments was to look at time management skills, and I had to research a whole lot of different time management skills and put them in our group discussion and forum. And we were supposed to put 3 up, and I put 2 serious ones, and then the last one that I put was the Beyonce rule. And my educator's like, can you explain the Beyonce rule? And I said, well, it basically goes, Beyonce has 24 hours in the day, and so do you. Get over yourself and get it done.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the reality is we have time in our day, but we don't make time. You've got 24 hours, I've got 24 hours.
Yeah.
Priorities. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's priorities. I'm fitting in 2 jobs and a uni degree and a life kind of thing, and
Yeah.
and you're no different.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's how you actually prioritize those hours.
I'm just thinking, like, you know, one of my biggest goals in life, like, is obviously to have a family, and I'm just thinking the way I'm fucking carrying on now, like, the way I'm behaving currently, there's no fucking way I'd want to bring a kid around that. No way.
But
like,
I had that, you know, it kind of slapped me in the face the other night. You know, we finish at 8 o'clock, and I think one night I didn't get out of the shop till about 11 p.m. Because we were just doing a couple of organisational bits, and we were talking and whatever. And I said to Owen, I was like, can you imagine this might be us, you know, where we have a family? Do you still want to be like this?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Where's Dad? Oh, he's at work.
Yeah.
Oh, where's Dad tonight? Oh, he's still at work.
Yeah.
Oh, we are just disregarding the real important things.
So what's your
know?
plan to not do that?
That's
to
what
not
we're going
work
to
at
work on
11
now.
o'clock.
Exactly. That's what we're going to have to work on now. That's the next
more
steps,
just
I
in
think.
case blocks, but
More just in case blocks.
Change to just in case that, like, just relax.
And I think the word
just
that
fucking chill out blocks.
I think the word that you said is prioritize.
Yeah.
You know, what are your priorities, and what do you really want? You know, I don't think we are honest enough with ourselves what we really, really want.
Yeah.
You know, and because I don't think we're taught that either. You know,
Do you know what my biggest priority is in my day?
Go on.
It's really weird. It's a 5:30 nap.
Beautiful.
It's for an hour and a half every day.
Yeah.
At 5:30 when I get home, I have a nap. I
Yeah.
turn off the phone. I put my alarm on
Yeah.
so that it wakes me up around 7:30. If I don't have that 5:30 nap, I can't do anything else. You know. So I get home. I'll have my nap. I'll wake up. I'll have dinner, and then I'll do either photography work or hair work. And then probably about 10:30, I'll go to the gym. I'll come back. I'll do a little bit more work. About 1 o'clock, I'll go to bed, and then I'm up at about 7:30 again.
Beautiful.
You know, but it's that nap. That is that one block every single day that doesn't move. And if it moves, I get stressed. It does my head in. I'm like, I haven't had my nap today.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a mess by about 8 o'clock if I haven't had that little nap. You know, you know, and that's a really key block in my weekly life to go. It's got to be there.
Amazing.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like, I mean, if you look at us as humans and you look at, like, animals, you know, like how animals behave and like how they all act differently and they have different patterns and cycles. But yet we're all so different as humans. Obviously we've more similar genetics than what some animals do, but we still all operate under the same system. The system that was set up to fucking create workers, basically. All the information that's out there is just industrial revolution information. And it's like, we need to actually figure out what works for us. Like, that's great, like what you do, figure out what works for you. That nap works for you. There's a thing called, I have it written down, like, from K2, the Kerwin Ray course. It's called Shade 360. And it's a thing about body types and, like, what's actually best for your body type, what time to work out, like, what time to do this, in terms of increasing, like, your, I wouldn't say productivity. Like, I'm trying to avoid that word as well.
Efficiency.
It's
Is that a word?
Yeah, I would say it's hard. It's
I hate
kind of
it.
horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it anymore. It just seems too kind, like, by just anyone who thinks that.
Because we were forced to be productive, and with this whole pandemic bullshit as well, it's like, okay, so now that you're at home and you're stuck at home, what are you doing to make the most of your time? I'm like, fuck all.
Yeah.
That's making
Like,
the most of my time.
Like, is productivity subjective to like the person? Like, because we're all so different, you know. Like, I guess productivity has to be subjective then. But like, that's why I'm trying to stay away from it. It's almost like too commonly used. It's almost like I don't know. It's like I've listened to Gary Vee once, and now I'm talking about productivity. You know, that's what it seems like. But I think like the efficiency or like living the most optimized life possible to you is probably more correct choice of words than productivity, because that looks different to everyone. Like to me, like having that routine might not work as well as it works for you, you know, and for other people that we are not even coming close to, like they might live in a totally different way. Getting up at 4:30 a.m. it doesn't suit everybody, you know, like getting up at 5 a.m. doesn't suit everyone. For some people, lying in until 10 a.m. and when they get up and they have an amazing productive couple of hours, a much better productive couple of hours than what they could have if they woke up at, say, 6 and just spent 2 hours fucking around. Because that's what happens. It is. I do it. Like, I get up and I'm like, because I know if I really put my head down and want to focus and get some shit done, I can do a lot of stuff in an hour. But like, we're just constantly distracted.
Productivity is subjective as well, isn't it? It's under your metrics that you build. Like, something that I was thinking about then when you guys were talking about that. Like, I think we know what we're supposed to do as humans. Like, outside of survival, I believe that there's a reason there's no handbook to this life, and I love what I love what you said about doing nothing outside of survival. Are we supposed to do anything else?
Yeah.
We're probably not.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
no, exactly.
Like, there's no handbook.
Exactly.
After you've eaten and reproduced and not get eaten that day, what else are you supposed to do?
No, you're supposed to go shopping.
Fuck all.
You're
You know?
supposed to go shopping.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go shopping.
You're supposed to go
Yeah,
shopping.
that's right. Yeah,
Eating.
Yeah.
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 Eating, another distraction.
Get some more followers.
Get some
Yeah,
more
I need to do
followers.
that.
Get the
Yeah.
followers up.
Yeah,
baby.
Yeah.
Get the Balenciagas on the.
I
It's a whole
surpassed
lot.
4,000
Yeah.
today. Did I tell you?
Yeah.
I tell you all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, life's worth living now.
So what's next for Johnny then? You asked us what's next for us. What's next for you?
Me, I'm actually look. I'm slowly getting out of hair. I'm in my last couple of years, which is really really good.
You know what I think is cool is I love that you live in your truth though. That's why we wanted to get you on. We're
Yeah.
like, fucking love it. Like,
Yeah, it's just.
I mean, you're not trying to hide from it.
No, fuck no, no way.
And that's
no
like-
way. My boss will see this and he'll probably hear that I'm slowly getting out of hair, and I've told him face to face as well. And it's all
Great.
well and good, you know. I'm at the end of my career,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm almost 50 for fuck's sake, and it's sort of it's it's a reality. It's not bullshit. It's
actually
my
something-
reality.
Talking about the 8 p.m. piece, something that I didn't talk about right there. I was saying to Owen about it, that all these late nights and all these things, especially in the men's hair industry, that's fine. If you look at the general demographic of who works in the men's hair industry, there's a lot of young dudes.
Yep.
They don't have a lot of priorities.
No.
They don't have families. They don't have all this, whatever they need to do,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's fine for them to work all the hours under the sun.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But like, you know, where does that end as well? You know?
Exactly.
And I like
Yeah.
that you can
You
see
get to
that
50
too.
and
It's very destructive, like
Yeah.
in over
Yeah.
long periods of time. And like last night was a prime example of it.
Yeah.
Looking at fucking Hindley Street or whatever it's called on a
Exactly.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
What the fuck is really going on here? Like,
Yeah.
it was a fucking zoo.
Some of them
Yeah.
are there to have fun. A lot of them are there just running away from their shit.
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
know?
that's right.
I
you
don't even
and-
know how many are there to have fun. Do they even know what fun is to them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's a societal conditioning.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be fun. Like that's
Exactly. But you look at us age wise and you kind of think, you know, at your age, your hair's going up in a ponytail and mine's being glued on. It's just the reality.
It's just fucking how it is.
But yeah, so that's me. I'm getting out of the hair game. I'm focusing more on my photography, my uni studies, and
cool.
launching a swimwear brand later this year, which is fantastic. So, you know, it's steering away. And look, I've been really, really grateful to my career and the people that have been in it because they've gotten me to this point, and they've allowed me to. My industry has allowed me to do all of these other things while still keeping me stable as well. And I think that's the biggest thing about our industry that people tend to miss. It's a really good stable thing that can kind of allow you to do a lot of other things that kind of work in with it as well.
We had that
never go
convers-
hungry. You know, there's
No,
like
no.
we might not become millionaires like
Yeah.
by just making money, but we'll never be hungry.
always food.
You can
Yeah.
always eat. Like,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
That's
you know,
the reality.
it is up to this point, and I actually spoke about this with someone last night, and it's kind of scary, but the water is rising like all around us, and if we don't fucking start moving up with it or start growing,
Yep, you have
or
to.
start rising with the water, meaning get your fucking shit together with your brand, or like bring your prices up, or like just learn to value yourself more from the start. Otherwise, the water's going to go above your head,
Yep,
and you're
totally.
actually going to operate at a loss. And most
Yeah.
people are operating at a loss. It's a
But
hard.
it's more
It's a
important
hard.
for them to operate.
Yeah.
And that's the crack up. It's
Yeah.
more important for people to say, I'm here and I'm doing this in these
productive.
times. And it's
Yeah.
like, you fucking go and break, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter that you're still here. It's the value of what here actually is to you. And a lot of people miss that, you know. So, but that's where I'm going. And, you know, I'm happy to get out of the industry after all this time. You know?
I think like I love that too, because for us, like, we're here to question the blueprint as well, you know, challenge the kind of status quo of how things have done. Like, I look at what we're doing right now as like, I want it to be almost like a boy band, you know.
Yep.
Like One Direction had 4 or 5 good years, and they just fucking put it to bed, you know.
We say it all the time. We're like,
And that's what
One
we're gonna
Direction
do?
right now.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's why, like, I want to kind of create like higher value propositions for people, where it's like we want to deliver as much value as possible. Like, guys, we're not going to be here forever doing this. Like, You know, like there's times where our courses say today the course was meant to be on, it didn't sell out. We may not come back, and that's not out of like a saltiness type of way. But
well, you've already said that.
We
This is the only time you're coming to Adelaide.
we probably and like, you know, initially we were saying this year, but it's like, yeah, but next year things could change so much, because this time last year things were different.
Yeah.
So next year it might be something completely different again, and we just might not do it again.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like it's just meant to happen that way.
Yeah.
But that's the way we look at it too. It's like, okay, we're like One Direction right now, you know, like in the Australian small barbering hair industry.
Yeah.
That really matters in the grand scheme of the world. But you know what, like so many people get so much out of like this industry too. It does help, you know, so many people in different ways. But like, and I don't mean to ridicule it like that, but
No.
you know, I think if people could just open their minds up a small bit more to realize what's going on, it would be a much easier way to operate then. Because right now, it's making it easier for me, even though it's short term, that can be hard sometimes. You know, like you might get short stints and bursts of like, what the fuck is this all about? But then ultimately, it actually is for the good, you know, like to think this way and to have these critical ways of thinking and questioning the blueprint and the curiosity.
Yeah.
I think that's the heartbeat of life, really. If you're not curious, like when did we stop being curious?
Yeah.
But the trouble is, there's a massive danger in opening your mind when your head's up your ass.
Yeah.
And that's where our industry's at the moment. There's a lot of heads up asses, and you know that needs to change. And I think you guys are being really, really pivotal in changing and I think moving the industry in a slightly different direction. And to me that's fantastic. And you've come in, I think, at the time that you needed to kind of come in, which has been great. You know? Yeah,
well, if nobody, like, it was a sinking ship, but I personally feel like if nobody's going to step up now, because, you know, like over the years, I've witnessed, you know, the awards platforms and stuff like that are things where people should, in my opinion, like I always thought, like, take the bull by the horns, like when you win that award, like take it and fucking drive the industry forward and bring everyone up. But maybe not everyone's built for that, or they don't realize, or they don't have their why right when they're starting off their application, or their intention isn't in the right way, or they just don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah, and that's also fine.
Yeah.
Everyone's on their own
Yeah,
journey, right? Like
that's okay too.
Yeah.
But sitting on the sidelines, like, and looking at it from where we were looking at it, to just keep pointing the finger and saying that and not doing anything about it, that's also toxic.
Yeah.
So like
totally.
for us now to be like, okay, we see that, let's try and influence it in a more positive way. That's the best thing we can do, you know.
Yeah. And you're primed, and you're in the best position to do it, and I think you're in the best time to do it as well because of how our industry is currently. You know, so yeah, it's going to be great. It's just a shame I'm not going to be around to see it.
I know. Well, look, you'll always be around. I hope
I'll always be around.
I hope to be able to call upon you for some words of wisdom. As we continue.
I'm always here.
So we might be out of the industry in a couple of years too. We might retire at the same time.
I'll see you in Bali.
Yeah, let's do it. Villa in Bali.
Yeah.
But no, look, thank you so much for coming on.
No
it was
worries,
a real pleasure to have
Thanks
you.
for having me.
It's been really cool.
It's
Really
been very
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Maybe when you do actually transition into the afterlife,
Yeah, I'll have a going away party.
then we can get you on for part 2 of the podcast. That would be great.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I think
I'll be there.
like as the stories evolve, I think there's certain guests that we'd like to get back on and share their stories again.
Yep. Beautiful.
We always end on one question though.
One departing question.
All right. Okay.
Are you happy?
Me? Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I'm where I need to be.
Great.
Which is really cool. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
very cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
And that's all it has to be sometimes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
A simple one.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much. If you want to find Johnny, he's deleted all his socials. So
Let them know where to
You
find
actually
you.
can.
You can. You literally can't find
you
me.
can find his photography page, photos by Johnny. And that's it. Yeah, thanks so much.
No worries.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Beautiful.
Cheers.